Hello, Chris Nevard here. Today you caught me in my little studio where I build things and process photographs from Model Rail magazine photo shoots and stuff. Anyway, today, as you probably guessed, I'm going to talk about this pub which features in Model Rail Skill Station. This is the first part of two videos. This one I'm going to discuss how I achieve the paint finish for the stonework. Then the second video I will cover how I do the brickwork and the tiles. I hope you enjoy. Right, here we have the building now primed in a mix of matte black, red oxide and grey. It makes a good key for whatever finish we want to put onto it. I'm going to start with the stone effect, but you can see why I paint. I actually keep windows to last, as described earlier on, because then you can put these in at a much later stage and not make a mess of them. So you put those to one side. I'll glaze them as well before I stick them in, so you're not fiddling around inside here trying to stick stuff on. So with stone, it's just a selection of colours really, depending on, of course, the area you're modelling. So don't copy me, because you know stones are different wherever you are. It's like Mendip's different colour to Pennines and so on. Look at pictures of the real thing. I use match pots purely because they're dead easy to get hold of, they're dirt cheap, they dry quickly, and they dry completely flat matte. Obviously making sure you buy the matte version. I'm pretty sure most test pots are matte. So it's just a matter of really dry brushing. It doesn't really matter what colour you start with. Maybe start with, what let's start with. Let's start with this grey. You can put a bit on an old plate or something if you like, or whatever, or work straight from the pot. Dry brushing, put a bit on your brush, preferably these stiff cheap brushes from places like Hobbycraft are great. Wipe most of the paint off, and then you can just apply it over the top. If you make a mistake, doesn't matter, you can go over it and over it again. I should probably take a bit more off than that. And you just sort of work over. Brings out the stones. Be a bit random. Real world is random. Don't go for that painting by numbers look. I know some modellers will sit there, paint every stone a completely different colour. Well, the real world's not really like that. It's far more random. And of course, random has the advantage of being a lot faster. So we're going to build up a few of these. It doesn't matter if it's not very tidy, it's probably better if it isn't. See, it's drying really quickly. Mind you, this is a hot day I'm doing this on. Around all the areas quickly, nice and fast. Now we have a basic, very roughly applied covering. Oh, the whole building is just a mid-grey, but I mean, just use organic colours if you can. But obviously, don't copy me, copy the real world. We're going to go with a bit of a cream now. Obviously, if you're doing bath stone, it would be a lot creamer Cotswolds, but a bit of this is good. Again, just work it in. Probably be a little bit more, less aggressive this time. You can see the colours, the textures coming out. I'll be doing the brick bits after this, and that'll be a different approach. That'll be more of a block colour. So here we have it again. This is some kind of, I don't know what this is. It's an old B&Q colour, I think. Or Sainsbury's. I don't know. It doesn't matter. A lot of the colours that are very in vogue these days, these miserable greys and things, are ideal for your model buildings. So when you go to your match pots and decide you're not going to paint your house in a miserable grey, you've got loads of match pots to use for your model making instead. So, see there? And compare it to that. Here we are, it's starting to come together now. Here's a bit of a sort of a chocolatey brown colour. I won't give you the names of these because the ranges change all the time and they rename everything, and if you're watching this in 2030, probably none of the range will be available by then. See, just a little bit brown, see it's softening it up. It softens the edges as well, softens those sharp edges on the corners of the frames. Compared to that side, which has had less work done on it, it's now bringing it together a little bit. But as I said before, stone is different all over the country, so try and find pictures of what you want to copy. And we're even going to use a bit of black, in which case, this case, Wicks, it doesn't matter which one now. And if you run it over the edges, it just gets rid of any dodgy plastic work. Buildings tend to be slightly darker towards the ground, so you can just work this up, and underneath the windows possibly as well. It's very subtle, the effect, and probably under the roof line as well, just along here. Tiny little amount of this black, and obviously depending, you know, you might want it very dark if it's in a mining area, or if you're probably modelling modern day areas in the Cotswold with lots of posh stone, it's probably going to be quite honey coloured because everyone gets it cleaned. But you don't have to do this all in one go. It's often better actually just to do a bit like I've done now, then put it down and look at it the following day. You'll find, you go, oh, that's not very good, and you look at it with fresh eyes. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you found it useful. As with all these techniques, it's not exact science, you just have to practice. It's like learning anything really, guitar, driving a car, but don't feel you have to practice on a building you've made. Maybe find some scrap plastic and mess around with some of the techniques beforehand and try and work out your own way of doing things. Anyway, I shall see you soon for part 2.